Hi guys, welcome to Little Wicket Railway. I'm Rob and in this video we're looking at the Hornby Tornado Express. This is Hornby reference R1225 and it's not to be confused with the Hornby Tornado Pullman Express, which is reference R1169, although they do seem to be pretty similar sets. This set appears to be exclusive to Argos and retails for £120, but Argos often do discounts and offers, so it's worth keeping your eye out for those if you're thinking about getting one. This was actually my first train set I bought after getting back into the hobby, and I must be honest, I didn't really know what I was buying. I just thought the locomotive looked cool and the carriages looked pretty fancy. Based purely on the picture, I just assumed that Tornado was a steam locomotive from the 1940s. I didn't realise that Tornado was actually completed in 2008 and was the first steam locomotive to be built in the UK since the 1960s. It's based on a Peppercorn Class A1, and the last time one of those was manufactured was in 1949, so you can see where it gets its 1940s look from. I love owning models of locomotives that you can still ride behind today, so when I heard that Tornado was visiting the Severn Valley Railway, I had to go down and take a look. Turns out that Tornado is pretty famous and loads of people came out to see it in action. Here's me looking a bit confused next to it, but I gotta say, up close and personal, it really is an impressive engine. So let's see if the model is equally as impressive. There are a few versions of Tornado available from Hornby, and this is from the Railroad range. This means it's not quite as detailed as the other versions, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad model. It comes in green with the banding around the boiler and the British Rail crest on the tender. The running number is on either side of the cab with the double lining around it, and it's also on the smoke box door. The model's got the distinctive Tornado nameplates on the smoke deflectors, and overall it is a really good looking model. There's quite a bit of moulded detail on the model, and you also get separately fitted handrails, separately painted whistles and valves, glazing around the cab and a red buffer beam. No sprung buffers on this model, but they are metal, which is a plus. Cab detail is all moulded in black, which is a bit disappointing. However, the couplings are the nicer looking narrow type, and there's also a small details pack of parts to be fitted. It's a 4/6/2 wheel arrangement, and there's plenty of movement in the leading wheels, and I've not had any issues with them causing derailments. The 6 driving wheels, along with all the coupling rods and valve gear, look really nice and move smoothly. The trailing wheels give just enough movement to allow it to negotiate second radius curves. Inside the loco body is a 5-pole motor with a flywheel, which means you can get some very smooth slow running, as you can see here from the rolling road. The motor can also put out quite a high top speed, which combined with the weight positioned over the driving wheels gives it a reasonable amount of pulling power. The model comes ready for analogue running, but it's DCC ready and will accept an 8-pin decoder. A word of warning on decoders: there is a TTS sound decoder for Tornado, but it won't fit in this model. The speaker is too large and you need to cut it off and replace it with a sugar cube speaker, which I wasn't very happy about because it was quite a lot of hassle. I imagine the speaker is intended to go in the tender, and that would work fine on some of the other versions, but this version doesn't have any electrical connection to the tender at all. It's simply a plastic connection between the loco body and the tender. And that brings us on to the major issue with this model. All the pickups are on the 6 driving wheels. There are no pickups on the tender, and that, I suspect it was a cost-saving measure, but it leaves the locomotive prone to stalling. Most models make it round Little Wicket without any issues, but I've tried adjusting everything, and just when I think I've got it, I still get a stall every now and again and it needs a little nudge. And I don't think I'm the only person with this problem. Having read the forums, a few people have said they've also experienced intermittent stalling. It seems like the only solution to guarantee performance from this model is to fit pickups to the tender yourself, and that is quite a lot of work. Maybe we've just been unlucky and it's just a handful of models that are affected by this, and if your track work is perfectly flat, you'll have no problems. Anyway, let's move on and take a look at the coaches. Again, these are the cheaper railroad range Pullmans, but even so, I really like them. You get a parlour car and a brake coach. The livery in both is really nicely applied with dual colours and the Pullman branding along the top. The crests are printed at either end. The door handrails are highlighted and they've got the distinctive style of glazing. Each Pullman coach is named, and this set came with Rosemary and car number 93. For railroad range coaches, these interiors are pretty good too. Each table has a lamp and there's moulded cushions on the seats. Note that these are not the coaches with the working interior lighting though. The coaches are a good weight and they run smoothly. They've got the standard tension lock couplings, which is fine, but it does look a bit odd when they're coupled to Tornado with the smaller narrow couplings. So what else do you get? Well, Hornby have been pretty generous with the track. You get the large oval and you also get Track Pack A, which is a siding with a buffer stop. You get your analog controller and the standard pack that comes with most of the train sets that are available at the moment. So that contains your re-railer and your track mat, which is a really creative way from Hornby to help bring the train set to life without spending a lot of money. So overall, what do we think? Well, the models are really nice considering their railroad range, and the big positive is that Tornado is DCC ready if that was a route that you were going to go down. It's also really good value, especially if you can get it on offer from Argos. However, it's really good value for a reason. Hornby had to make some cuts. It's slightly less detailed. That's okay. You only get 2 coaches rather than 3. That's okay. They've taken pickups off the tender. I think they've gone too far there. No one wants a really impressive locomotive that stalls every so often. Maybe it's just me, maybe I've been unlucky. Let me know in the comments if you've got this and you've suffered from any problems. But for me, that is the only thing that stops this from being a really awesome train set. So overall, I'd still say go for it. Yours may run perfectly, but if you do have to give it a nudge every now and again, then don't say I didn't warn you. If you've enjoyed this video, then please give me a like and a subscribe. As usual, I'll leave you with some shots of Tornado running around Little Wicket. Thanks for watching, and I will hopefully see you again soon.